Imagine walking home only to realize a predator is waiting for you in the dark. A jackal approaches his den, notices his footprints leading inside, and stops. Somewhere in the shadows of that dark cave, a hungry lion is waiting for him to walk in. But the jackal doesn't run. Instead, he tries a bluff. He calls out to his den, complaining that the cave hasn't greeted him yet, and loudly asks why it isn't answering him like it normally does. The lion, worried his prey will leave, decides to play along. He lets out a massive roar to mimic the cave's greeting. The jackal, now knowing exactly where the danger is, turns and safely bolts into the night. If this were an Aesop's fable or a Grimm brothers fairy tale, the hero would likely win through pure bravery or by being the most honest animal in the forest. But this is a story from ancient Indian collections, like the Panchatantra.
Here, the guiding principle is niti, a practical, often ruthless form of wisdom where survival depends on paranoia, deception, and quick thinking. These stories suggest that the world is a chessboard where the moral winners are often the ones who think 3 steps ahead. Look past the animal archetypes, and a harsher curriculum for staying alive begins to emerge. This curriculum starts with a warning: passivity is a death sentence. Take the story of the 3 fishes who overhear fishermen planning to cast their nets the next day. The most proactive fish immediately swims away to find a new pond. The second waits, but uses quick thinking to play dead and escape when caught. The third fish, however, decides that whatever is written in his fate will happen, regardless of what he does. He simply waits. He is caught in the net and dies on the riverbank. Then there's the donkey who sneaks into a farmer's field at night with a jackal to eat cucumbers. Intoxicated by a full moon, the donkey decides he wants to sing. The jackal begs him to stay quiet, warning him they are trespassing. But the donkey, blinded by his own ego, insists his voice is beautiful and starts braying loudly. The farmer wakes up, finds the donkey, and violently beats him. Finally, we have the tortoise. When his pond dries up, his bird friends offer to fly him to safety. They hold a stick in their beaks, and he bites down on the center. But as they fly over a village, people point and shout in amazement. Annoyed and unable to resist getting the last word, the tortoise opens his mouth to yell back, loses his grip, and plummets to the ground. In this ecosystem, external threats are secondary to internal ones. To survive, you have to master yourself, killing the ego, acting immediately in a crisis, and knowing exactly when to keep your mouth shut. When brute strength fails, the predators in these stories turn to a more effective strategy: weaponized pity. Consider the kindly Brahmin. He takes pity on a struggling crocodile and carries the reptile in his own bag all the way to the ghats of the Benares River. But the moment they reach the water, the ungrateful crocodile clamps his jaws around the Brahmin, ready to eat the man who saved his life. Or look at the aging snake who convinces an entire kingdom of frogs that he has been cursed by a Brahmin to serve them. The snake acts so submissive that the frog king proudly rides on his back, completely ignoring the danger, as the snake slowly eats his subjects one by one, until the king himself is devoured. Against this kind of manipulation, pure morals offer no protection. The only effective countermeasure the fables advocate is weaponized wit. When a monkey realizes mid-river that the crocodile giving him a ride is actually planning to feed the monkey's heart to his wife, he doesn't panic. He simply invents a biological impossibility, casually mentioning that he left his heart hanging on a tree branch back on the shore. The crocodile, fooled by the confident lie, swims back to retrieve it, and the monkey escapes. In a treacherous environment filled with opportunistic predators, these stories teach that a cleverly deployed lie is a valid defensive tool. This pragmatic worldview is summarized by the story of the 2 parrots. Twin birds are separated as chicks. One is captured by a cruel hunter and grows up to be a vicious, foul-mouthed bird. The other is rescued by a peaceful sage and develops a polite, welcoming demeanor. When a king crosses paths with both birds, he realizes a stark truth. We are not born inherently good or bad. We are entirely the products of our environment and the company we keep. That is precisely why these fables exist. They were designed to shape a child's environment early on, stripping away their naivety to prepare them for a society filled with deceitful snakes and ungrateful crocodiles. Wisdom, in the world of the Panchatantra, is the capacity for constant adaptation. It is the street smarts required to recognize a threat and navigate the jungle of human nature safely.